carries on and moves down, that's pretty good. Just to this point here, this is going to hit a brick wall. So the rotation here is going to stop with that left shoulder. I don't want to see that. Should be gone, should be gone, should be gone, should be gone, should be gone. It's too slow. You could look at that from a couple perspective, that the left side of the rib cage is going this way, right side forward. But that's not moving anywhere near quickly enough. And continuing to turn. So normally, at this point, if you just as a rough guideline, if you get someone to the point with the driver where their right arm is horizontal, their right shoulder is normally caught up with their left shoulder by that point. So as a rough guide, by the time their right arm is horizontal, that shoulder should be level with that shoulder. But then you question the fact is because he's rolling over his foot, can he actually produce the necessary movements to do that? So that's the discussion bit.
So we could, so that from a force perspective, could we do the P5 stomp?
Yeah, and what I might do, if I could throw that thing back, you know, I might get him hit some shots from here. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, P5 stomp.
Boom, and then learn how to get the shoulders out of the way. I'd probably get him this. So mate, come standing in, mate. Good.
So we'd probably get 2 for 1 here. We get the force because the foot will be planted better, so we don't need to focus on that too much. With this drill, we do it all.
So come and stand on, put him on the pad as well.
Yeah.
Then get to sort of P5, so swing to the top, get to there, good. Up a bit, up a bit, up a bit, up. Fine. Now start stomping your feet around, and now work on this.
Stop the feet like this.
Okay, and then try and get your left shoulder moving up as much as you can. And that's obviously a battle to get that larger. Work harder on that. See how his foot responded by moving away? Not really as a thought. It starts to make the feet work.
Okay, and again.
1 more, 2 more. And 1 more of those. So this exercise is brilliant for many reasons. You have to rotate your rib cage, starts to bring the feet in. The other thing I said,
switch it on now.
The other thing
I can't do it otherwise.
The other,
It's much harder to do that.
much better. The other thing we saw but can't see on this video, I drew a line on your belt in a very crude way of measuring pelvic rise from that position, and it didn't go up very much. It would do there. So Steve will have the video there. Come on, you go.
Make sure the travel down well. Yeah. Right, want to go and get a couple of shots in the next way?
This is a bit of a cheat because he was swinging 115 earlier, but I saw him swing much faster yesterday. So this is one of these ones that make you look good because I know he's got a lot more speed in the tank.
Tried to do this drill.
Yeah. So what you put 115 up earlier.
Yeah.
So it's an interesting drill here to start. Just do the drill starting from there, and you'll probably get to like 105, 108 alone after a few swings of doing that. Stop and kill it. And what was amazing, I said to you yesterday in the lesson, that you do that for someone, maybe was putting 115, so he's got no backswing, he's got no downswing, he's hitting shots from here, and almost, he might as well not make backswing. That was almost the same speed as he had. And I said that yesterday when I mentioned that drill, that the speed will come up very similar. But what he's just being, he's super efficient from here. Super efficient. Go for it, mate. So that's within touching speed of his normal swing. So let me video that for you, mate. Yeah. I'm almost there. Bear with me. There we go, mate. Just do the stamp drill. Yep. So this is exactly what I said yesterday. Go for it, mate. I don't particularly like that bit of the swing, so we just isolate that bit of the swing. Sorry, I haven't got a big screen to show you, so I'll try and show you from here. So we saw his foot was in the wrong position earlier. His left foot looks much better. His left foot's responding and moving now. I didn't tell him to do that, it's just a response. Look at the left shoulder. Remember I said it, right arm horizontal, his shoulders should have caught up with each other, and now his shoulders are level with each other, right arm horizontal. So we just isolated one bit, we like the other bits. Steve confirmed the other bits were pretty good, so we go to the bit we don't like and isolate that bit and work on it. That's good. Do one more of those, then we'll hit a few sort of full shots, yeah? Amazing how the football changes about. Very different left foot, Stevie.
Yeah,
Left foot.
that plants him much better now.
It completely changed, yeah, really good. Go. Do you want to hit some full ones now?
With same style.
No, well, hopefully. So, look, you know what it's like. So, you know, someone says, how long is that going to take me to learn? 3 months. So we've done 3 minutes. So it's, you know, hopefully that will fit back into the system once you've practiced it for a few weeks, yeah? And I said it's going to make us look good because he's 1:15. He was fast like that yesterday. I can't say he wasn't, yeah? Everyone in Finland's fast.
At least 120. That's the standard here. So
I was laughing with Hank yesterday. So the first 3 people who got up to hit balls yesterday, they said they're 120. So I've been teaching for 30 years. Not many people are 120. I can't remember the order it went. The first man went 121. I thought, oh. Next one went 121. Then someone else went 120. Up to high 120.
Yeah, Matti
so
was
I've now decided that
130 or
everyone in Finland is really fast. Yeah.
Sign up for.
Yeah, all the right people were signing up, yeah. Have a look at this stuff. Oh, look at this. Just from that stomp drill at halfway down. Look at the footwork.
Yeah, wow.
Look at the shoulder rotation. It's stunningly good, yeah?
So Matti will probably gain some accuracy by doing this also, right?
Yeah, I think it would help his release pattern.
Yeah.
It gets a little bit slower and then a bit this way. Certainly I think it would help the release pattern.
Seeing how different it is with the hands here, less reliant upon.
No, I'm going to cut them there. How were those two I got yesterday?
Did you take it here when I was doing that?
No, I'll do the bit. Do one more. You know, I think about it.
That would be too annoying.
2 more, mate. Do the stop one again. P5. P5 stop. Kill it. Frightening thing with that, and I wasn't finding amazing, that's almost the same speed he was putting up earlier with free stock swing,
Right,
with
yeah.
no backswing and no downswing.
112 from halfway down. It's amazing, isn't it? How much you can create from that position when you're doing it the
And
right
that's
way.
just super efficient unwinding from that point, and also would be a much better left foot movement up there. Yeah? Good, really good.
Miltä se tuntuu?
siis läpilyönti tuntuu tosta treenistä super paljon paremmalta niin kuin mitä omassa normaalissa lyönnissä. Paljon paremmin.
I like that. Alright.
If he was flipping irons, would you tell him to do the same drill to get a better delivery?
The floating left foot, so you've got, there's many studies on front foot golfers or reverse foot golfers, yeah? And you're a long drive guy, you get your centre of mass so far backwards that your foot floats because there's no weight on it. It's unlikely hitting an iron, and Steve could tell this from a force plate position, that because you're going to be more of a front foot golfer, you're not really going to get, you don't really need the float in left foot or want it in the irons. But the rotational element, yes, I think would be of merit.
So the release would be
Yes.
more control.
So the
Basically,
rotation and the release, albeit he doesn't need to be in a wedge with his foot.
Obviously not.
Yeah, his foot doing that. But certainly.
I'm talking club and control. That
Yes.
was kind of.
Yeah, definitely.
We need different attack angle, different swing direction.
Obviously.
So that would mean that wouldn't necessarily need to kick in because of the attack angle and delivery.
But the other bits, yes.
But you'd still definitely get rotation without that flying as far back. We've got some players that do and can manage it because they can orientate the rib cage, the upper body in position. So some can still do it, others would need to switch it off. So it's one of them kind of speed switches. You'd say, right, I'm going to flick it on for a bit more speed.
One more big one to finish
Call
with.
it a par 5 swing. I can open up a bit, flick it on, and good. But if you've trained it and you can tolerate it, you can get face on ball with it, then you can switch it on.
I'm 25.
If you don't train it, how do you begin to build that?
Sorry, Matty, can you do one more of those, please? As hard as you got, please. Do you know we had the pad? Let's do the pad for me.
Got a pad, yeah? Got one of them.
Mennyt hänkin ohi.
Mikä se oli? Mä mietin sitä just äsken, että mikä se oli.
Oh, that was.
251.
So you make as much noise as you want. No technique faults.
Cover your ears.
Only full out.
Yeah, it's going to make a racket, yeah?
Ready?
Please. Now, this was the thing yesterday that I was saying. The fascinating thing is that Steve flagged up that there was a left foot problem, yeah? So I watched Matty when he was hitting it yesterday, and weirdly, as he tried to generate more speed, see his foot? He actually stepped into it. So this is what I saw him doing yesterday, have a run of that. So when you said that earlier, it's fascinating. Yeah. So I saw him doing it yesterday as a practice. So then that becomes relevant to Steve's stuff. It would be a good way to practice doing that as well, because it gives you another jump of speed. And we got the reason I videoed it, the 125 had it in again. So I think it's a good practice thing for you to do. But fascinating, because that's what you said he needed to do in the practice. But he's got it at this speed. Now I've told you do it, you don't know you do it. See what I mean with that foot?
Teet toi samaa nyt sillä normin lyönti.
Joku vaihtaa backswingin aikana pallon.
Niin.
All out.
Right, 120, 126. I don't care if you stepped on it, yeah?
I have to come back in to top that.
Tästä tää iltapäivä menee.
And it was Laurie next, wasn't it?
Okay.
So Laurie's next.
I think after Lauri we will sit down with Matti. Competition is over.
So Larry's an interesting one. We're looking at the video. Yeah, he moves beautifully body-wise. The movement on the way down, I've mentioned chest slam. His movement of his hips into anterior tilt and his chest moving down is awesome. So you can sort of start to see where he gets some power from. The transition and sequence movement on the way down on video looks beautiful. So, you know, the question last night was whether he could do a long drive. He probably could. It's a big jump up in speed, but he probably could with a lot of work. So I mean, look at this. Look at the left shoulder protraction and retraction here. With really fast players, they often get this curvy look in their back. That's more to do not with lordosis in the spine. It's more to do with the thoracic extension. His shoulder turn on a markerless system must be 110. I mean, that's pure. And then just this silky smooth downswing. So we could, you know, when you look at it in that sort of detail, and you know, as a criticism, just imagine if he had a wide hand path on the way down. His hands coming quite narrow here, and potentially that could affect his release pattern. But that's a pretty pure move. Now, I thought you were doing long drive, but we weren't doing long drive. So we'll get Steve on that. He can talk through the force part, Steve. Yeah?
So looking at the graphs, then again we've got a fairly smooth profile in this graph here. Maybe a tiny dip here. This This is address position, top of backswing, so maybe a tiny dip there, but it's relatively smooth. There's no massive drop off there, so that's pretty good. I always like to see the push off the right side, maybe a fraction more earlier, slightly before top of backswing, but the amount there at 23% is pretty good as well, so it's in the 20s. The AP forces, so the trail foot versus the lead foot, so we got that 1.5 times there, he's 31. Could we get that up into mid-30s? Definitely possible, but that actual relationship is pretty good. Straight away, I look at this and look at vertical force combined, peak value here, 148, we got to get that north. Straight away, that's it. I look at that and I'm like, well, the timings of it are good, so I'm not concerned how much you do. If we got you 250, it's not going to really cause massive issues because the timings are so good. When we go to peak vertical force in the downswing, you're in a good position. So I look at that and say, yeah, he's definitely able. So we get to that point there, which is peak into the ground and ground reaction, we're in a good position, so we can definitely throw in. If you was late and I tried to pump it into the system, we'd create a problem. Yeah, God, I can't hit it. But that, you're definitely able to do that, so that's good. So that would be immediately taking this, obviously with Lee's mechanics there, with that wider hand path maybe, in the downswing, I'd be then saying, right, how much can you physically push down into that left foot, and how quick can you do it? Yeah? Keep the speed so it's not all the way down there, it's as much as you can, as quick as you can. So we use the pad, use the sponge under the foot, or the spiky, the hedgehog, and give that a good squeeze. That would be a good one for me. Because everything out, I think we'd get, if we can create more vertical force, that's very low as a left foot value as well. We increase that by 40–50%, that goes up as a result. This will go up to 35 as well.
Lauren, it's not really the point of the seminar because it's a power and speed one. But if I put my other hat on, that I teach a lot of pros, and you said you're missing it a bit right or left. The thing of interest for me there would be, I really like the way your shoulders are here. Left shoulder should be lower than the right. The hip positions look good, and that's a look in the dark. I can't quite see the legs. I really think your body movement looks good on the way down. It would be a question of whether you can move your arms and release it a little bit better. You have that CF outward release pattern, but you've also got a bit of a rolling pattern to it as well, yeah? So it looks like you can miss him right and left on the back of that. I know that's not the point of the lesson today because it's more speed production, but if I change that completely and put my, pro teaching sort of head on that, maybe I would look at the way that was released a little bit with the way your hands. I know that's what today's not about, but so yesterday I said that there may be some potential. Because you said you've been working on your swing being too narrow on the way down, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, so if we could bring one thing to sort of what we were talking about yesterday and today. Let me find it quickly. Steve, you do your talking for a sec, mate.
Yeah. So where we got my got one of those pads. That's a liquor. So I think for me, Laurie would be top of back foot, which can really go that way.
Yeah, I would say the back
Not
shot.
necessarily getting the chest over there. If you can keep the chest about centre of stance, really going to create a ton of force. Do it with the knee, do it with the quad, do everything. Just get that as far over there as you can. Absolutely wash that sponge as much as you can. We've got a very small time window, top of backswing to around left arm parallel to the ground. We've got this window to maximise that force out. So it's not to do it all the way down here. I want boom, boom, boom there, because everything else then is an effect of that.
So I would say my tendency has always been like just keep going this way,
Keep going.
and this makes the downswing like narrow also. Yeah.
So, and with what Lee's going to do from a widening perspective, there's work on the handles this way and this way, trying to get you wider is one thing, and trying to during this phase is kind of almost like that way.
Yeah. Right.
Coxie?
Yeah, so just had a swing with this. I mean, this is
That goes underneath the leaf foot thing.
fine, thanks. But this is a speed gadget that I was talking yesterday, but I would also use it a little differently. And if you were swinging here, because of the nature of this weight, this side of the centre of mass of the club, yeah, it will tend to allow you to have a hand path that you're going to work outwards a little bit. So if you grip that and just have a couple of swings, you swung to the top.
This.
I mean, this actually would make it go faster, but that's not quite the point of it, yeah?
Doesn't matter which way.
No, it doesn't mean, I'd probably just keep the grip as it would be as normal. And if you swung to the top and stopped, it would tend to make you feel here that as you were moving down there, you were pushing me more away. So that would get more width in that direction, yeah? But the gadget will make you do that anyway. So have a couple of swings of that. It's almost like you feel you're trying to throw it off at the top of your swing. It won't come off, but you feel like you're throwing it off, yeah? So 2 or 3 more of those.
So you'd almost could be like step, throw, step, or pump, throw. Yeah, good. Here we go.
So immediately from that there, just very quickly, you've got better width in your left arm, yeah? On the way down. Yeah, that's good, but yeah, another part of that, obviously, so your left arm looks pretty damn straight there, yeah? Obviously another part of that is your position of where your trail arm is relevant to your lead arm. But just from a perspective of just doing that, if I can show this to most people. There's a little bit more width and hand path on the way down than there was. Okay, let's try a couple of those. And then if you were doing long drive, that's a different conversation, yeah?
Right, over there, you're hitting some balls.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. You said something to be interesting as well that he's actually been trying to hit it shorter, didn't you?
No, I've been just thinking about it because
Yeah.
last week it didn't work too well.
Yeah, because you know, hitting it far, we know strokes gain can help, but you still got to keep it on the planet, yeah.
So average about like 293, which is like I'm just losing strokes.
Yeah, yeah.
So it doesn't.
It's not of any benefit. Where'd that go, mate? Oh, just to the right a bit, yeah?
Yeah, so there's one on left and then on right.
Okay. So that's got a side spin. What's the path and face numbers normally? Do you know normally what they are or not?
I usually hit like a small cut, just a bit from outside a couple of degrees.
Yeah, yeah.
And try to do phase like this.
Try and fade it in, yeah? Is that how you're hitting there?
Yeah.
Too far forward. Hooky one, yeah?
Yeah.
your normal pattern, yeah? That's what you've been doing recently, left and rights like that, yeah? And what are you trying to do with your release? I know it's not what the seminar's doing, but what are you trying to do with what are you trying to do to slow that down?
I would like to be much more quiet through the impact.
Okay.
It's just been like too much rolling over,
Okay.
and the pad has been going too far right. We can probably put it there, but we just going to the right, and then the blocks are like usually just kind of
Yeah.
straight blocks,
Going, yeah?
and then the left has been like more like
A quick left.
it's not like quick left, more like yeah, block path is and plus, so I'd like to be more left. That's pretty much a left on the side, so the path is pretty straight, but the face is too straight.
Yeah, good.
And that's how it feels like on a force.
Sure. That's path. Good to see the full one. Is that one? Oh yeah, with the I've just seen it. That was a decent shot, yeah. We haven't got the face paint on that. That side spin axis here, yeah? What sort of number are you looking for on that?
For this is like for like
Use this
side
ball.
miss.
I use this ball. Okay. Might get a better spin on this one. On the RCTs on there.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I'm just having a guess at the spin rate, isn't it?
This should be better.
That spin axis was acceptable for 7, yeah? Plus half into that focus, that same, I mean, at the moment you just haven't got the numbers to hit fade, have you?
No, not really.
I mean, you passed the wrong side of it, yeah?
Exactly.
So, as I say, it's not really what the seminar was because it's a speed thing, but if I was looking at that quickly, you know, it's alright adding speed to your game if you want to play on tour, we know that it helps, but if you haven't got a workable shot you can put in play, you're wasting your time with it.
Yeah.
So, you know, looking at the two things that Steve's taking from there, off that, and me improving that width, I just don't think at the moment you're getting, the other thing, I mean, your arm gets quite abducted in on the way down.
That's not one of my
Yeah. So maybe I would think about, you know, keeping it wide and just trying to get that path going left first of all, and just get the path. If it's good, what's the path? 2 to 3 left if you're playing well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get to that, and once you're past then good, then I will start to get the face more where I'd want it.
Yeah.
But path at the moment sits slightly to you can't hit fade anyway, yeah.
But the fact is, when I hit my driver best, I'm actually hitting the longer as well. So they kind of go together.
Yeah.
When
Yeah, of course, yeah.
When I'm hitting it like sideways, I'm usually hitting like quite short comparing
Of course.
what I can do.
Yeah.
when
You're
I'm hitting my
not
best.
using a potential weapon that you've got to do well with.
Yeah.
So I would work on those couple of things. I mean, we know you can swing much faster than that. Either through setup or the way you're swinging it, I can get that path to an acceptable place left to target. Yeah. Then I would look at the release patterns what I would do.
Should be a bit more left.
All of a sudden there we've got 5 yards of dispersion.
I didn't see
6
the.
yards of dispersion.
Where's the path? Didn't come up with that.
But look at the ball there.
Oh yes, sorry, yeah. Don't use track now. I don't quite know what I'm looking at there. Yeah.
You know, 30
Yeah.
yards left to 6 yards left. Wider on the way down, more out. Push down into that left foot.
So the path was a better way, yeah, but the face was that way. But I would go path first. Face the path. So that's track man. So that means it was open, yeah. Okay, so that's path left, face right. Okay, so it's a bit of a weak cut. His spin axis at 13. You want that below 12, yeah? Liver in discussions with potential long drive. So if Liv get involved in it, have a go. There might be some money in it then, yeah? Then it might change a little bit, yeah? So spin axis 14, I just can't see the post. Just not picking the park though, no? And that's finished, oh yeah, up the top there, yeah? But the side axis on the ball's left there, yeah? Yeah. Not chucking park upstairs, yeah?
That's pretty much like that should be just like the stock feed that I usually use on course.
Yeah.
With 126.
Yeah, you look very comfortable with that, doesn't it? Doesn't look difficult to do. You just haven't got, you know, if you're teaching the pro, the one thing they've got to have is a workable shot that they can get in the play off the tee, yeah?
Yeah.
So it's picking a pattern that you want. If you're going to hit fade, then I would then just go through, you know, what path or what face am I looking for, and then look at the release pattern. But I'd certainly make that wider on the way lane like we did, yeah? Mind you, Steve. Oh yeah, there's a flashing one. So we got you know, a path. You just can't fade off that path, yeah.
Yeah. That's the story of last week.
Yeah. So I think first of all, you know, forgetting the speed element, you've got to get that path sitting where you want it, and then you got some chance of starting to get some face control, yeah. Because it's hard. I mean, it's tough to get a straight shot at best, yeah. So if your path is sitting at 0, tough.
Should be going left now.
That's it, dotted at the top, yeah.
Every time I touch it,
Yeah, but then you'd have to look at that release. We still haven't got the path number, have we? And no spin axis on that. That new ball should sort that, shouldn't it?
Yeah, it should read better.
Not reading it though, yeah?
Just trying to set on it, it's not allowing me to go into the settings. Settings are locked out on the track mode.
So that would be an interesting discussion on speed in the case of the factor. You know, is it worth you using all your potential? Maybe not. Sitting at a number, you know, 127 is, you know, a really good number. More than enough to compete. You just haven't got a workable shot that you can put in play at.
Yeah, so at the moment I don't have it.
Yeah. And
Just kind of guessing.
yeah, exactly.
Last week, England, first round, just way to the right. Another round to the left.
And then you show through for easy, you can miss it right.
Yeah.
Just can't go left there.
Shot 65 first.
Yeah.
I think at the left miss and shot 75.
Mm.
10 shots.
Who's your coach here?
He's my assistant coach. The guy with the beanie, Nicholas.
Yeah.
Our coach is not.
So it'd be interesting to work with him on what sort of shot shape you like.
It's exactly what you said. We try
Yeah.
to make him more left, maybe with
Yeah.
the driver, try
Okay.
to get there.
Yeah.
Club and hands going from.
So in the same part of that, so it'd be interesting to see as you got it wider, because you get it narrow and really adducted.
Exactly.
Then when it's that adducted across your chest, it's then difficult not to spill your arms out there and push the path right and roll it. So much more that way. I certainly would work with that tail drill just to get the better width down into it.
Toe drill.
With the tail, sorry, the thing I gave you which made your hand path go out.
Oh, yeah. That should be okay.
Those numbers right?
Yeah.
was a fader, didn't you? I've got a
Yeah.
path. So path. Oh, that's close to a good shot, yeah?
Was that feel like, Lauren?
Bit better.
Better? Manageable?
Yeah. I was still like, a little bit shot face, but I would like to see like 1.5 open for that.
Yeah, 0.2 of a degree would be negligible. Probably would have been a pretty straight shot. The side axis might be because you towed it by dimble or something else.
Yeah, I usually a bit from the toe.
Yeah, so that would make sense. So if you tow it then, that would also nullify fade elements as well, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
And maybe you tow it because you get too narrow on the way down, yeah?
That was a perfect play.
Still that path. That path's funky, isn't it?
Yeah.
I don't use TrackMan. Is that normal?
Yeah, I can't get into the settings to. Might be the lighting.
Really?
Yeah, it's not bright enough. Need to those spots are quite low power. My spots are probably 3 times brighter than that.
Okay.
So
Get to the top. Get to the top.
got enough
So if I
light.
change the direction before I
Yeah.
move against me, so into that sort of line there, I think that's going to change your width. So try and get
Usually,
wider. Plus they're much less
like
abductive.
this flat, so there's not enough light.
Yeah, my tendency is for sure to go from the start like
Yeah.
too deep.
Yeah, and then
It blocks my right arm too far behind.
Mm.
From there it's like tough
Yeah, I
to
see it.
jump
Yeah.
back.
Okay, should we do a couple more? So path was left. Okay, so you've got the path sitting where you want to do it. I would sort of structure it like that if I was practicing. I'd get that path nailed down to the number I want it,
Yeah.
and then I'd secondary on the back of that. I'd get the face nailed down to where I wanted it. Yeah.
There we go.
Overdid it.
There we go.
We know we want the face about half the path. Yeah. Yeah. So that's good. Spin axis.
Just a bit from the toe. So that's why it shows
Yeah.
more right, I guess.
Yeah, maybe. Good shot. A couple more. Yeah, so do that again, make to the top. Changing that. So if we change the directional position so that it becomes more outward there, yeah? Then I think you've got more space here.
Exactly.
Then I think you can work that left, but the wider should help you release pattern a bit. To come to a speed seminar, we're trying to make it go slower. How does that work? What have we paid for? Well, that's perfect, yeah?
There you go.
Put some speed in.
Go on in. Pump it in there now then.
Right.
Same feels done faster.
Those are pretty cute numbers.
Better, yeah?
Let's just try to do one bit higher. Deep strike.
Okay.
That's why I don't like to hit it farther.
Yeah, but then again, just
I would do it at that point.
Yeah.
And if you're going to do it, most of the pros I teach, the two of us would have a stock shot, they'd have an into the wind shot, and they'd have a bomb. For each of those, they would have had to practice. So what you then do is, if you are going to go with a bomb shot at 131, you better have practiced it with the right numbers. There's no point in just hitting it if you then produce the poor numbers with it. You'd rather just stick to what you're doing.
Exactly.
You're more than fast enough anyway, yeah?
Yeah.
Go back to what you were doing, yeah? That's it. Like that. Do one more. Good shot, yeah? It was excellent.
That would be playable.
More than playable. 190 ball speeds. They used to be on tour. You'd never get anyone doing that. I know there's more doing it, but you've got loads of ball speed, haven't you?
Yeah. That's enough for me.
Okay.
I would be happy with 124 if you guys that straight.
Exactly. Right, one more shot.
I haven't seen too many guys.
Playing 'cause consistently good with his ball speed. So that's why I was thinking like Rory tried to chase the speed.
And Rory, I was saying yesterday when you weren't here, Rory did it the wrong way. Bryson did it the right way. He got super fast and then plays well below his potential.
Yeah.
So him hitting balls at 190 on the course, he's
Yeah.
not hitting it hard, he's chipping it
Yeah.
at 190. Rory tried, when you're the best driver on the planet, tried to then hit it harder. He did it the wrong way round.
Yeah.
So the way for you to do it, if you wanted to do that, you train yourself to swing it at 140 and play really easy at 132. You play below your level.
That's how I did it. Because
Yeah.
my high is 143.
Yeah, that's right. That's how you
So
want to do it.
Yeah. I'm actually playing like way below.
As you should do.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not about trying to kill it, but if you have a hole where you think you can attack it, you've at least got to have a ball flight that you can rely on, yeah?
Exactly.
Because it doesn't work.
Yeah. I would like to play this song, but
Yeah.
So it hasn't
I'd
been
play with that
too
one if I
much.
could as well. I can say, what have we got there? No pass numbers. That's a fit left? I can't work it out. The side X is too big, yeah? But I don't know why. There's no
So,
pass.
Lee, when we think it's not enough light, it needs a brighter light above it. Trackman works with overhead light for impact, so it hasn't got a light that's bright enough.
How's that work?
Secondly, Trackman will not give a value if he doesn't think it's right. So if it's not reading it right, it won't give a value. So the difference, that's one of the main differences with Trackman and Flyscope. Flyscope will give a value, Trackman won't. It just zero. It just gives enough time.
I've never used TrackMan before. I always used Flight Scope, and
So-
I've never taught inside. I only teach outside. So when it's not throwing up numbers, I think it's broken. Yeah.
So Flyscope will
That's good shot,
always give you a number, Coxie. Flyscope always a number.
Okay, even if it's
Trackman,
even if it's wrong.
wrong number. Trackman doesn't give you a number.
Gotcha. Okay. That was a good shot, yeah. Okay, one more. Lovely goal shot. That's the best one of the lot, yeah.
Very good, that, Laurie.
So there you go. That's how to reduce speed for you there, yeah. Huh?
speed song.
That's it. That'll work.
Start playing finish baseball.
Yeah.